Have you ever wondered if the challenges, relationships, and circumstances in your life were part of a grand design, a cosmic agreement made before you were born? Imagine, before your soul entered this life, you sat with the universe and agreed to certain experiences, specific challenges, lessons, and transformations that would help you evolve and become who you are meant to be. It's as if your soul made a pact with the universe, signing up for the experiences that would shape your journey even before you knew what was coming. This idea of pre-birth agreements might sound mystical or spiritual, but it's deeply rooted in the psychological growth and personal transformation that Carl Jung spoke of in his work on individuation. According to Jung, these agreements align with our process of becoming our truest selves. While we may not consciously remember these pre-birth decisions, we can feel their presence, manifesting in the significant events and people that shape our lives. What if these experiences were not random, but part of a deeply intentional process to guide you toward your highest self? In Jungian psychology, there is a concept called individuation, the lifelong process of integrating the unconscious with the conscious mind in order to become a whole, authentic self. This process is central to understanding how the soul might agree to certain experiences before birth. Jung believed that the unconscious mind is not a blank slate, but a vast storehouse of archetypal patterns, deep, often hidden energies that shape our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. These archetypes and psychological agreements are the underlying forces that guide us through life. It's possible that before we are born, our souls align with a specific blueprint, an implicit agenda that ensures our spiritual and personal evolution. For Jung, there's a deeper spiritual order behind our lives, where every challenge, hardship, and significant relationship can be seen as reflections of unconscious agreements made by the soul. While we may not consciously recall these agreements, they are woven into the fabric of our experiences, directing us toward growth, healing, and self-realization. So now let's explore the 4 things you may have agreed to before you were born. 4 agreements that will guide you on your soul's journey toward wholeness. The first agreement your soul made before entering this life was to embrace struggle as an integral part of your evolution. The soul, knowing that challenges would be the crucible in which it would transform, willingly chose to face adversity. This isn't the kind of struggle that feels arbitrary or cruel, but a necessary process that is deeply connected to your personal and spiritual growth. Jung's concept of the shadow speaks directly to this idea. The shadow represents the unconscious aspects of the self, those parts of you that are repressed, rejected, or ignored. Your struggles, in many ways, are reflections of these very parts. They are invitations to confront and integrate the shadow. While the ego resists these moments of difficulty, clinging to comfort and security, Jung believed that real growth happens when we face adversity head-on. It is through struggle that we are forced to shed old ways of being and make room for the new. Take the example of someone who has faced a series of setbacks in their career, health, or relationships. In the beginning, these challenges feel like burdens, as though life is pushing against them at every turn. However, over time, these difficulties lead them to face deeper questions about their identity, their fears, and the parts of themselves they had long buried. Perhaps they were forced to confront a childhood trauma, or they realized that they had been living to please others instead of honoring their true self. The struggle pushes them to examine their shadow, those hidden darker aspects of their psyche, and in doing so, they begin to understand themselves on a much deeper level. Through this self-awareness, they start to experience a transformation, shedding old, limiting beliefs and embracing their true potential. The struggles that felt like obstacles become the very catalysts for personal growth. This process is not punishment, but an opportunity to become more aligned with the authentic self. Every challenge you face is part of the deeper process of self-realization, and it was agreed upon before you were born as a way to guide you toward wholeness. Your soul chose these struggles as a means of transformation, so rather than resisting them, embrace the growth they bring. The second agreement your soul made before entering this life was to engage in relationships that would challenge you in profound ways, pushing you toward healing and growth. These connections, while often difficult or even painful, are not random occurrences. They are part of your soul's plan to evolve and become whole. Jung's concept of the anima and animus speaks directly to this idea. He believed that we project unconscious parts of ourselves onto others, the anima representing the feminine side in men and the animus the masculine side in women. The relationships we encounter, especially the deep and intense ones, often bring these projections to the surface, forcing us to confront aspects of ourselves that we've either neglected or repressed. Whether romantic, familial, or platonic, these relationships are opportunities for self-discovery and integration. Take the example of someone who meets a person with whom they feel an immediate, intense connection. The relationship begins to stir up old wounds and unresolved emotional issues. Perhaps it challenges their sense of self-worth or forces them to confront a fear of abandonment. What begins as a magnetic attraction turns into a crucible for personal growth, with every interaction revealing something about the self that was previously hidden. It's painful at times, but this dynamic isn't accidental. This person was meant to show you parts of yourself that you couldn't see on your own. These relationships act as mirrors, reflecting back your shadow, the unacknowledged or rejected parts of you that need to be integrated in order to become whole. While these relationships can be difficult, they are never meant to break you. Instead, they provide the necessary tension for your soul to heal and evolve. They push you to examine your beliefs, patterns, and behaviors, allowing you to make the necessary shifts toward growth and self-acceptance. Your soul made an agreement before birth to encounter these relationships as part of your journey toward wholeness. Far from being a coincidence, these relationships are catalysts for transformation, helping you heal and move closer to becoming the person you are meant to be. The third pre-birth agreement your soul made centers on the experience of letting go. Before entering this life, your soul accepted that attachment, whether to people, material things, roles, or even aspects of your identity, would be an inevitable part of your journey. This process of release is not arbitrary. It is a deliberate and necessary step in the path toward personal and spiritual evolution. Jung's understanding of the ego helps illuminate this agreement. The ego often clings to what feels familiar and secure, using attachments as a way to maintain control and a sense of identity. Yet the soul's plan requires that these attachments be confronted and at times surrendered, forcing the ego to recognize its limitations and the impermanence of life. Consider someone who has experienced the death of a loved one, the end of a long-term relationship, or the collapse of a cherished dream. Initially, these losses can feel devastating, as though the foundation of the self has been shaken. However, through the experience of letting go, they are compelled to examine what they truly value and to confront the deeper fears that bind them. The process may feel uncomfortable, even painful, but it also opens a doorway for profound growth, allowing the individual to shed outdated patterns and embrace new possibilities. Jung would describe this as a form of individuation, where the self emerges more fully as the ego learns to relinquish control and trust the unfolding of life. Loss in this context is not punishment. It is a sacred tool for transformation. By letting go of what no longer serves, the soul creates space for deeper self-understanding, new opportunities, and the authentic expression of being. Your agreements before birth included these moments of release, designed to help you evolve, to step into your true self, and to align more closely with the path that the universe has woven for you. Every ending is a prelude to a beginning, and through letting go, your soul moves closer to wholeness. The final agreement your soul made before birth is to discover and live your true purpose, a commitment to align your life with the deepest essence of who you are. Long before you entered this world, your soul set the intention to pursue experiences that would reveal your unique gifts, passions, and calling, even if the path to them is winding and uncertain. Jung's concept of the self, the totality of our being, helps us understand this agreement, as living in alignment with purpose is part of the lifelong journey toward individuation. This process often requires exploration, trial and error, and the courage to follow impulses that feel deeply authentic, even when they defy external expectations or societal norms. Many people experience detours, pursuing careers, relationships, or ambitions that ultimately do not resonate with their inner truth. Yet each step, each seeming misdirection, contributes to self-knowledge and prepares the soul for its ultimate alignment. Consider someone who has spent years navigating various jobs, searching for fulfillment until a sudden clarity arises, a calling, a vocation, or a passion that feels unmistakably aligned with their true self. This moment of alignment is the soul honoring its pre-birth agreement, embracing the path it set out to explore long before physical life began. Discovering and living your purpose is not merely about achieving external success or recognition. It is a profound internal fulfillment, a sense that your life is meaningful and that your actions resonate with your deepest nature. The challenges, uncertainties, and lessons along the way are part of the agreement, guiding you to embrace authenticity and growth. Ultimately, this fourth agreement emphasizes that the journey itself, with all its twists and turns, is a sacred unfolding orchestrated by the soul. Before you were born, your soul agreed to find and live your purpose, to walk a path that would bring you closer to your truest self. This journey may not always be clear, but it is always guided by your soul's deep knowing. These four agreements are not distant ideas. They are alive in your life, subtly shaping your experiences and guiding your growth. Reflect on the struggles you've faced, the relationships that have challenged you, the losses that have forced you to let go, and the moments when you've glimpsed your purpose. Each of these experiences is a sign of the soul's pre-birth commitments, quietly at work. Notice how certain people or situations have appeared to catalyze your growth, how moments of letting go have opened new paths, or how synchronicities have nudged you toward meaningful change. By observing these patterns, you begin to see that your life is not random, but orchestrated with intention. Each challenge and triumph are part of your soul's journey toward wholeness. Embodying these agreements means embracing your path fully, integrating every lesson, and trusting that the seemingly difficult experiences are essential to your growth. By reflecting on these four pre-birth agreements, you can begin to understand how your struggles and triumphs have been part of your soul's journey to wholeness. As you take this reflection further, remember that your life path is uniquely yours, shaped by agreements made before you were born to guide your evolution. Struggles were not meant to break you, but to strengthen and awaken you. Relationships have not been mere coincidences, but mirrors for integration and healing. Losses were opportunities to release what no longer served your growth. And your pursuit of purpose is the natural unfolding of your authentic self. Trusting these agreements allows you to move with a sense of peace and alignment, knowing that each experience has contributed to your becoming. Your soul agreed to these four experiences to help you grow, heal, and discover your true purpose. Trust that every challenge and triumph is part of your soul's grand design. This is Echoes of Psyche, where the soul's journey unfolds in perfect alignment with your deepest purpose, and where each lesson, challenge, and triumph is recognized as part of the path to your most authentic self.